And we're back with the Pop Culture Cosmos. Gerald Glassford, thanks so much again for watching, listening. Truly appreciated. She has returned to us. Indeed, it is, of course, Miss Dawn Fobbs. You know her from the Mother Daughter Ish podcast, but she's also our TV expert. It is Dawn Fobbs. Dawn, great to have you here.
Thank
We're
you.
talking some TV. And will note to all the Walking Dead fans that the Walking Dead, the ones who live, just concluded its season with Denai Guerrero and Andrew Lincoln. Was not impressed at all with the series this time
Oh,
around. This reunion, which so many have been looking forward to, I thought the story was somewhat uninspired, but again, any reason, I guess, to bring them back together and to bring them back on the screen for Walking Dead fans, I guess, is a good one. So we
right.
will leave it at that. But Miss Dawn, I know there's a ton of things that you've been watching.
Oh
So
my goodness.
before I
Yes.
go, so before I go into the three things I've been wanting to go ahead and talk to you about, what have you been checking out lately on
Well,
television?
I told you I was anticipating on Hulu to see Kate Winslet's new series, and I don't like the way they do the rollout. Well, they'll do one or two, and just give me the whole thing and let me watch it. So right now,
You've been weaned on Netflix.
I have been spoiled on just everything, watching it after the fact instead of in real time type of thing. But it has not disappointed. It's been really good. It's been, a little quirky and a little funny, and I've kind of stuck with it. So that's on Hulu, of course. Also, Hulu kind of gave me a boost of energy, and I binge watched it the whole day. On, I think it was either Saturday or Sunday or something. Gosh, I just forgot the name of it. The
The
Serpent.
Crown?
The Serpent Queen. And I love all those period piece type of shows. The Serpent Queen is on there. I'm just waiting for Outlander to bring season 9. I'm ready for it, but it hasn't made it there yet. But the Serpent Queen did not disappoint at all. It was great from the beginning to the end. And again, I'm with all the period pieces. So Damsel on Netflix caught my attention just by surprise, because I had not been anticipating, because I didn't know about it. But I just happened to go over there and it just kind of showed up, and I went, oh my gosh, let me see what this is about. It was so fun. It was so cute. It was so too real, like the things that we already hear that happens in royal families and things like that. So it was really a good one. And then now I'm starting to see so many people talk about Damsel, and I'm like, I thought I'd be the only weird one watching it. And then, of course, again, on Netflix, Irish Wish with Lindsay Lohan. Now listen, my girls, when they were young, they watched everything on, Disney with Miley Cyrus. They watched everything with Lindsay Lohan and all of those fun shows. And so I kind of got adopted into the loving Lindsay Lohan character, the characters that she plays. And so the Irish Wish was very, very cute. Rom-com to the max, nothing short of that rom-com. Of course, Shirley came out a couple of Fridays ago on Netflix, and that was very interesting. I, of course, already knew the story and all of that, but it was really, really good. And then one more thing, and then I'll tell you that I did try to get into one of the things you're going to talk about, and we'll talk about it when you talk about it. But another thing I got into, I watched Super Sale, which came out in 2023, but it just made its way over to streaming. And that was very interesting because that show, Supercell movie, happened last year, but we actually had a real event like that in Texas this year. So that was that's what made me actually watch it, because of what happened last month in West Texas with the big, huge storm that just tore up the whole place. And that made me watch it. And it just kind of made me feel like, wow, that's really, really wild, with all the movies that kind of foretell all these weird type of things, leave the world behind, with the big boat starting everything, and then the boat hitting the bridge, and it just was kind of wild. So let's talk about your 3, because that's what I've been watching. So you can see I've been really diving in since I got back from Costa Rica with my daughter. It's been kind of like a slow churning back to, wait a minute, I do have a job.
No worries. And it's for us, I guess, with Netflix, it starts with Three Body Problem, which is outside of the religious programming. the most popular series right now on the network. It has been the talk of much out there in social media in
I
regards to
tried.
follow
I
try to
tried
follow
for
it.
it.
I thought I liked it. It is
Tried twice. I tried when you sent me a message about it, and I tried again last night. And I just didn't. I think for me, I don't like all the caption reading and all of that. I don't. I didn't enjoy it at all. So I wanted to hear your take on what you thought about it, because I tried twice and it didn't catch me at all. And I went 2 or 3 seasons in and still was like, I don't like this show. So what's so
subtitle.
popular about it?
Well, what's so popular is it's based off of a worldwide best-selling book. There was a Chinese
There you
adaptation
go.
as far as originally, because it's a Chinese. It came out of the book came out of as far as the Chinese author, but there was
Right.
a Chinese adaptation to it. This is the American adaptation to it, or the international adaptation, I should say.
Okay.
To me, the fact that it was a globe-trotting adventure, the fact that there was mystery and intrigue involved in the beginning, it does get a little bit talky as far as sometimes talking over the head of the audience in regards to the different dynamics involved. So I can get that, but the subtitles never bother me. I think for me, a great movie is or a great television show is absolutely whatever language it is I can follow. It doesn't matter to me. Um,
Cool.
I thought it was okay overall. Again, I thought it was really good when it was dealing with the mystery of what's going on and how things are taking place and putting pieces together
Mm-hmm.
on if this could lead to something on a much larger scale, which it eventually does.
Mm.
But in the last half, in the last few episodes, some bad CGI kind of
Mm-hmm.
fails it a little bit, but it does lead you into a season two in regards to this, and that does lead into it. It's kind of an interesting angle where it's a mystery, but then it leads you to a alien invasion or impending alien invasion type scenario, and in
Mm.
doing so it creates a larger I guess global conspiracy that I really find intriguing, and you don't know who is working with the aliens and who is
Mm.
working against them and working for humanity. So it really is actually something I thought was impressive. It was by the creators of the Game of Thrones. They were absolutely behind it. And
Okay.
again, I think it's a really solid watch. I think it could have been a little bit better if they had put some things into place, a little bit better CGI and a little bit better ways to wrap up on those final episodes. But what they've got there is pretty good. It's been talked about, and that's all you need to do in these days and ages is
We talked
really,
about.
yeah,
Yeah.
being talked about. And Three Body Problem, again, it isn't for everybody. In fact, my co-host Melinda, she had to rewatch it just to make sure she was getting everything down. So it is definitely understandable why Three Body Problem is as successful as it is, but it's also as confusing to a lot of people as it is as well.
Right. Okay. What
So
else? What else you got?
well, again, I said the other day on the show, I advertised on the show episode that you were not on, as far as the best TV show that you're not watching, and it's on Max right now. It's in its second season. It's just about ready to finish out its second season.
Okay.
It is Tokyo Vice.
Okay. Yeah.
As Michael Mann, Daniel Cretton, a lot of big names are attached to it. And as far as executive producing this, and it's absolutely uh, just sensational. First season was good, very good. I put it on my best of pop culture list, but the second
Okay.
season has gotten even better. It is really good. It's transpired so well. The fact that they're actually able to go ahead and film in as many places in Tokyo that they have, and that they had to get permission and from various sources, including trying to make sure that the real life yakuza themselves, the mafia in in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't get mad with what they were doing, because the show is about the yakuza in the mafia in Japan in regards to an American that a reporter that takes a job with the most popular newspaper in Tokyo in Japan, and tries to uncover all the stuff, the conspiracies and the seriousness and stuff that's going on behind the scenes, the battles between
Okay.
the various gangs and whatnot. It is very intriguing, and it's a must watch, I think, for everybody out there. But the fact that Max has not promoted well is, I think, a crime to all television. So if you get a chance and you do have Max, and
Yeah.
you're finished watching Dune Part 1 or you're waiting for Dune Part 2, go ahead and check out Tokyo Vice. It is well worth the watch.
You will be surprised. I had never seen Dune, nothing. I don't know anything about it. And about a week or so ago, I told myself, let's see. And I actually liked it. Can you believe it? I was
Yeah,
like, I get it. I was like, I like this. And so now I understand why people were running out to the movie theater and running out to go and see the
the
new one.
Part 2.
My
Yeah.
daughter said, I thought you had seen that before. I said, no. She said, oh, yeah, I could have told you that would have been one you liked. I said, yeah, but I'm a girl. I've never seen Star Wars. I've never seen Star Trek. I've never seen any of those. She said, yeah, but I knew you would like Dune. And I was like, you should have told me sooner because I didn't know. It's just from you and I having a conversation. I got curious and I went over and I literally watched it. I didn't use it as a background noise while I'm in my office working. No, I literally watched it and was like, I like this. Okay, now I get it.
I enjoyed Part 1 as far as building a world. I thought it did an
Yeah.
incredible job. And Part 2, if you ever see it in theaters, it's an incredible experience. It is still available in theaters if you get a chance to go ahead and check it out. Or if you want to go ahead and check it out, wait for it to come to Max. It will come to Max eventually by
Okay.
the end of the year.
Yeah.
It is going to be, I'll tell you what, I watched it. I've seen it. Absolutely love Doom Part 2.
Okay.
You can't go wrong with it. But leading into Max, if you're do you have Max? Tokyo Vice, I highly recommend it, seasons 1 and 2. If you really want to get behind the scenes of what life is like in Tokyo. This was based in Tokyo, I believe, around the year 2005, 2006, 2007, because you'll see the old style cellular phones and some things as far as cars and things from that area of time. So it deals with that area of time. But if you're really interested in checking that out, it is a highly recommended there.
Okay.
Go ahead and check it out. The last thing I think I want to go ahead and cover on my end, actually two things. I want to go ahead and cover it. First up is The Gentleman, which was recommended by my co-host on Monday's show, Josh, in regards to catching that. It is from the actual maker of the movie, The Gentleman. So if you Guy Ritchie, who's made and directed several films over the year.
I like Guy Ritchie. Every movie he's ever made, I like it.
So if you're into that British offbeat, kilt humor, per se, then The Gentleman on Netflix is right up your alley. It's a solid watch again.
About that one. I saw it and I passed it up and I went, maybe somebody will tell me. I don't want to go in, like, you know how sometimes you can go on YouTube and you can see the synopsis. I was like, I don't want to ruin it, but I didn't know that Guy Ritchie wrote it. So for sure, no, I will like it and I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a solid watch for me. And again, my co-host on Monday, Josh, is actual huge Guy Ritchie fan. So he was just saying that this fit in right with all the movies that he's helped create and absolutely as a TV series. Yeah. So there you go. The Gentleman on Netflix. But last but not least is coming a show that's about ready to almost end its run in season 1, maybe. We don't know. Shogun. On FX and Hulu as a spectacular retelling of the famous book, and also as well the famous 1980, the date how back that was, with Richard Chamberlain TV miniseries. This recreates it for the modern era, but still it's based in 16 or 17th century Japan. A stranger in a strange land type deal. Helping and assisting the feudal Japan, where they're feuding between the lords. The lord that is on the good side, the good guy, is being helped by the gaijin, aka the guy that that's out there coming from England. And then there's a forbidden love story there too that's tied in there, of course. Yeah, so it's absolutely fantastic. The cinematography is absolutely stunning, the way it portrays ancient Japan, and absolutely it's something I think that people out there can't miss, and they don't need to miss it, because not only is it on FX, not only is it on Hulu, but it's on Disney Plus. So you've got 3 choices to go ahead and check out Shogun. There is absolutely no excuse. It is so far right now the best, even a little bit above Tokyo Vice. It is the best of television for 2024.
Wow. So. Yeah, I think Netflix is, and like all the others, are pulling out all the stops to keep us. Every time I say, if it goes up another $1, and then they roll out something, and then in the back of my mind I'm thinking, now in May Bridgerton's coming back. So this little chokehold that they got to send is kind of funny to me, because I'm like, okay, you don't watch that much TV. That
Well, this is all the rollout from the strike. Like start Dune Part
I know.
2.
Remember we talked about it and we said watch right around the spring, summer, fall. It's just gonna boom, all pop out. And now I'm going like, there's some, really there's some good TV programming out. There's some really good TV out there. And if you've got several, like I've got the Max, I've got Hulu, got Netflix, got Paramount, got Disney Plus, if you've got kind of like a mixture of them all, there's really no need for you not to have some really good TV going on, because my next thing that I'm getting ready to watch is The Spanish Princess. I like all of those kings and queen type of shows, but that one, it's so funny how Hulu was advertising on Instagram and it said, you want to get Stars so you can watch Outlander. You want to get Hulu so you can watch The Spanish Princess. And you also want to be able to watch, I think it said like some other show on Netflix. And I went, oh man, they trying to make you have all of them. So I was like, oh, I never heard of The Spanish Princess. So let me watch her, since I just watched The Serpent Queen. And all of those shows, it all started maybe about 10, 15 years ago with Reign. When Reign was on Fox channel, I had never been into the Kings and Queens shows and didn't care. And then all of a sudden, Reign came on Fox and got canceled. And then it landed over on Netflix. And since then, it's been anything in those centuries I'm down for. I mean, they've just been really great. They kicked me into watching things like the Vikings. They kicked me into watching, all these, the Barbarian. I mean, I'm just... all of those I love. I will stop everything to make sure I get those in.
Well, absolutely. Some great viewing there. The thing that I think that we're starting to look at is, like you said, the rollout of some really good stuff, a fallout from the strike or whatnot. Yeah. I know that in Netflix, one of the big things that they're going to show in Netflix for April is Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. I know it got mixed reviews at best. It didn't. I don't know if it met the expectations for Netflix on the amount of people watching it, but let's hope that Part 2 is going to be a little bit better than Part 1, because I know that Part 1 had a lot of issues attached to it. When I watched it, I know that a lot of people out there that like science fiction had issues with it as well. But again, it is something I think from as far as Snyder, his version of the Snyderverse, as far as Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, coming up. That's probably the biggest release for April on Netflix. So we'll see what happens there. So, Miss Dawn, always great to have you here giving us the update on what you're checking out on television. But please let us know what you're up to at the Mother Daughter Ish show before we head on out.
Well, I tell you, we had such a great time in Costa Rica. I've got so much footage from Costa Rica that it's just absolutely crazy. So I'll be rolling all of that out really soon. And it's coming up to spring and summer. And I just really want to highlight a lot of the activities and events and outdoor type of things, and all the new brunch places that are opening. So it's going to be really more about outside, restaurants and festivals and events and things like that. I've got a big trip coming up in 2 weeks to Savannah, Georgia. So I'll be stopping through New Orleans, going through Georgia, on the way back, stopping through Mississippi, stopping through Baton Rouge. And so really my next 60 days is going to really be mostly out and about and what's going on in different places that I am in. And then when the summer comes, I'm just going to have even more fun with it. And I think talk about being in the middle part of the year and really gearing up for 2025. That's how far ahead my mind is thinking. And, I know we've got a lot of significant movies coming up to the movie theater, like Bad Boys, and we've got Civil War coming and all of this other stuff coming to the movies. And I will be going to the movies to see a couple of those at least. But and I'll be talking about them on the show. So it's going to be out and about. It's going to be food. It's going to be travel. It's going to be movies at the movie theater type of conversation, just to kind of make this spring, summer just kind of fun right before we get back into the fall, which is always a little bit more serious. School's going back, college is going back. People are making work changes and things like that. So I'll probably kick off a business series when it comes to April and take that through to the end of the year, just talking about different businesses that people can start thinking about now so that they can be ready for their 2025. Because I always like to think at least 6 months ahead for helping people with gearing up for the new year.
Absolutely. A great plan indeed. So please, everyone out there, go ahead and check out the Mother Daughter Ish podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Well, Dawn, you killed it once again, as you always do. But any last thoughts before we head on out?
Well, the only last thoughts that I would like to put out is that I think we need to dig a little bit more into Paramount and see what else is over there. And also, I understand that Hulu is going to have some really great new programming. So maybe next time we talk, we can dig into Paramount, dig in a little bit deeper with Hulu and any other. I haven't heard of any new streaming networks that are kind of at the forefront. I've heard of a few, don't get me wrong. There are at least 3 that I've heard of just this week. I heard of one today, but it's not my type of programming because I'm not into reality TV and all of that. But if I hear anything about any new streaming networks, I think everybody's kind of calmed down and said, okay, these big guys, they're big. We're going to have to do something so significant to beat them that it just may not work. And so I think you've seen a little bit of a calming down, like we're just going to chill right here because it would take too many millions and billions of dollars to kind of surpass them. I think everybody's kind of geared up for the Mike Tyson fight with Logan. I think it's Logan because he has a brother, but Logan Paul, I believe.
Jake Paul. It's actually Jake Paul.
So it's going to actually be really interesting. I won't be watching, of course, because I'm not into sports. But I'll tell you something funny. You know, the last time we spoke, we were talking about Netflix and them getting into this whole sports arena and everything. And I'm starting to see even more sports talk with new sports. There's supposed to be like a new sports kind of talk show type of thing. So I'm seeing a lot more sports talk on Netflix. So I said, you know what? We can say we predicted it.
That's true. So please go ahead and check out Don Fobbs today, the Mother Daughter Ish podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Well, my friend, it's always great to have you here. Looking forward to our next conversation right around the corner for what's coming up in May, because you know what May is all about. May sweeps. It's going to be a little different because of, you know, the shortened seasons.
Yeah.
And the short number of episodes for a lot of the broadcast televisions, but still much discussed, like you said, and the future of Paramount. Who knows what's going to happen by then? So much to discuss when you come around for your May TV report. It's Miss Dawn Fobbs. She's back at it. You know, she'll be watching some TV and she'll be telling you about what's going on in the world of television right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos.